Most people knew to avoid the obvious threats in nature like sharks and electric eels, but there are some dangers hiding in plain sight that might just put you in the hospital or send you to an early grave. From snails that stab to venomous worms, today we'll be going over some marine animals you should definitely swim away from. You'll definitely never go for a dip in the ocean ever again. Cone snail. If you're someone who's easily fascinated by pretty shells and likes to pick them up to listen to the sound of the ocean, then we've got some news for you. It might be best if you think twice about picking up some of the random shells from the seafloor because, believe it or not, the ocean has got some deadly killers hiding under those pretty shells. The cone snail falls perfectly into that category. You might mistake it for a seashell, but it is in fact very much a snail and a deadly one, we might add. The snail isn't outright aggressive and will not attack you if you're just passing by, but let's just say you make the mistake of picking it up. In that case, the snail will arm itself and possibly use its sting on you. It's one of the most venomous animals in the ocean. Undoubtedly, a sting from the creature will send you on a trip to the hospital. Their sting is laced with a toxin that interferes with the unlucky victim's nervous system. Fortunately, there's an anti-venom, but in order for it to work, it needs to be administered in time. After all, you only have a few hours after the snail's sting. Of course, the best way to avoid all this is to look but not pick up every pretty thing you see on the ocean floor. Unfortunately, it's not the only cone snail you have to look out for in the ocean. Bristleworms. Most of us hardly consider worms as a threat, but there are some species that might just make you rethink that statement. Bristleworms make for deadly marine animals. Some of these are only dangerous because of their protruding bristles, but others pose a more serious threat since their bristles are laced with venom. What makes them even more dangerous is that you can hardly spot the bristles. They easily break off in the skin and are hard to see. The only sign of you coming in contact with one would appear in the form of a rash, and by then it might be too late, as other symptoms start to develop, including burning, pain, swelling, and itching. The symptoms are worse in the initial days but do gradually reduce with time. Overall, they can just last up to 10 days. It's much better to avoid these suckers altogether. The flower urchin. It's hard to imagine something with the word flower in it to pose much of a threat, but once you learn about the flower urchin, you'll have to guard up double time. These sea creatures look absolutely astounding with their flower-like pedicellariae that come in a purple or alternatively white. When the pedicellariae opens, the animal resembles a flower, hence being named the flower urchin. But don't get too caught in the beauty of it. The flower-like pedicellariae have venomous glands and sacs that are used by the flower urchin to prey upon many of the animals in the ocean. The enzymes found in the venom have the ability to induce extreme pain as well as muscle contractions that can cause cell death and necrosis. Still, the venom is not potent enough to outright kill an animal, but it's capable of slowing them down considerably. Flower urchins are basically carnivorous animals that prey on algae and bryozoans. They weigh an average of 1 to 1.5 pounds and are 6 to 8 inches in length. There are nearly 200 species of flower urchins that inhabit the oceans of the world. It's practically impossible to determine the population of flower urchins in the sea due to the sheer number that covers the entire Earth. So let's just avoid going for a dip ever. Lionfish. The lionfish is basically a carnivorous fish that is native to the Indo-Pacific, but it has also made its way to the Atlantic. The fish has a deadly reputation as it can kill several unsuspecting prey in the water. This is due to the fact that the lionfish doesn't have any known predators, much like its terrestrial counterpart. It's known to reproduce all year long. A mature lionfish is known to release about 2 million eggs a year. The lionfish is known to corner their prey by using its fan-like pectoral fish. It can successfully catch over 50 different types of fish despite being a slow-moving creature. They stretch out their pectoral fins and proceed to trap their prey before lunging out at them and consuming them whole in just a single bite. They do have spines in their arsenal, 18 to be exact, that have the capability to penetrate human skin. It delivers a painful but temporary sting that isn't fatal. They don't use their venomous spines to hunt down and kill their prey. Still, aquarists are required to go through special training in order to work with and handle lionfish. One thing to keep in mind is that lionfish don't go out stinging people willy-nilly. They do it all in the name of self-defense, so best not to pick a fight with this one. Blue-ringed octopus. Blue-ringed octopuses look pretty cuddly, but hugging one is no less than a death sentence. They are one of the most deadly animals to swim in the depths of the sea. They start from the size of a pea and grow to the size of a golf ball. Blue-ringed octopuses are mostly found in the tidal regions of Japan to Australia. They can also be found living in the Pacific and Indian Oceans among the coral reefs and tide pools. They possess an adorably large head with two big bulging eyes and glowing blue rings, but these blue rings are a sign that it feels threatened and ready to attack. So if you ever spot one with the blue rings on, don't stick around to watch the light show. The octopus is known to hold two types of venom in its saliva. It holds the ability to subdue and kill its prey with one type of toxin while using the other toxin as a means of defense. The blue-ringed octopus basically feeds on small crustaceans at night. It waits till the venom has properly spread throughout the prey's body before it's ready to consume it. The poison is potent enough to kill at least 26 adults within a few minutes. The good news is that these natural killers have a lifespan of 2 years, so their days of terrorizing everyone are numbered. Old Wife. Old Wife sounds like an uncanny name for a fish, but it is. The sea creature gets its name owing to the grumbling sound it makes underwater. The fish's appearance is marked by fins, and the dorsal fins are full of venom. But surprisingly enough, there aren't any venomous glands. Still, if you have the unfortunate experience of getting injected with some of the venom, you're in for a world of pain. Luckily, they live in the sheltered habitats like coastal reefs and seagrass beds, so your chances of running into them are not that high. Peacock mantis shrimp. With its candy-colored appearance, you'll hardly think about running away from the peacock mantis shrimp, but it's something you might want to consider. These crustaceans inhabit the Indian and tropical Western Pacific Oceans and are pretty fast on their feet. Not only can they punch their prey with just 2 appendages, but they're also fast enough to break an aquarium's glass. Guess you can't keep them as pets. The punches of these little creatures have been regarded as the fastest in the animal kingdom. So, do you really want to be in the same waters as them? Even if they are only just punching out crabs and mollusks. Box crab. Joining the WWE ranks with the peacock mantis shrimp, we have the box crab. It's a master of disguise. You can hardly tell it's roaming the seabed since it blends in really well with it. If threatened, these crustaceans will not back down from a fight, even when it's against humans. They're called box crabs because they can bury themselves in the mud with their legs underneath their body, and not because they're good boxers. Alright, which one of these marine inhabitants scared you the most? Will you ever be going for a dive again? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Trend Joint, and we'll see you in the next one.